Hello, everybody. Good morning. Is my sound coming through okay?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you great, Bobby.
Perfect. Thanks. Well, welcome to the September Tiny Tech Training. I'm Bobby DeMontney, and today with me I have Kara Orban, our Consortia Director, Amy Marchwick, the lead for the Montana Shared Catalog, and Coley Barteau, our CE Coordinator. Today, we're going to be talking about the OCLC contract and what it currently includes and what that might look like to a patron who's using WorldCat to find material. So the mission of our group services contract is the state's OCLC group services contract provides an access to unlimited cataloging and interlibrary loan services at a fair, equitable, affordable cost for all Montana libraries. Founded in 1967, OCLC Online Computer Library Center is a nonprofit membership computer library service and research organization dedicated to the public purposes of furthering access to the world's information and reducing information costs. More than 60,000 libraries in 112 countries and territories around the world use OCLC services to locate, acquire, catalog, lend, and preserve library materials. Researchers, students, faculty, scholars, professional librarians, and other information seekers use OCLC services to obtain bibliographic, abstract, and full text information when and where they need it. OCLC and its member libraries cooperatively produce and maintain WorldCat, the OCLC Online Union Catalog. So when your library joins OCLC, you agree to several principles of cooperation, and these include a promise to contribute to OCLC all current bibliographic and holdings information that represent cataloged items in your collections, create bibliographic records and related data at the fullest possible level, consistent with the standards and guidelines adopted by OCLC, support prompt contribution of bibliographic records and related data to promote shared use of records and library resources, cooperate with OCLC regional networks and other partners and participating libraries to identify and correct errors in contributed information and to avoid introducing duplicate records, and to limit use of OCLC records, systems, and services to OCLC authorized users. The Montana State Library renews on behalf of Montana Libraries a group services contract with OCLC. This contract is for statewide, discounted, fixed price access to OCLC cataloging and interlibrary loan services, as well as reference access to the OCLC WorldCat database. The contract features unlimited cataloging, unlimited interlibrary loans, and access to WorldCat. On the topic of WorldCat, I took a quick screen capture of what that might look like to a patron accessing material through WorldCat after a Google search. If you haven't done this yourself, it might be good to experiment with it just to see it from a patron point of view. You'll notice that there have been some changes in the last few years to make it work on a variety of devices that improves mobile access for users. So in this example, I'm looking up the roadside geology of Montana. And I'm checking the books section here in Google. When I scroll down, I can see a citation, a little synopsis, and then down here I can borrow. You can enter your zip code. I think it's because I'm on a VPN here, but it's not coming up. But you can also search WorldCat if you don't see it pop up there. There we go. And from here, it will show you the closest library that has it available. It looks like in my case, Helena College Library has it, but then you can also scroll down to see more options. I also have an example where you can see what it would look like from the perspective of someone starting from Goodreads. So here you can just search for the book up on the top here. I'm picking a really popular one right now. And then there's a little drop down next to the Kindle thing where you can buy it, where you can look up libraries. Again, it just redirects right to WorldCat, and it's pretty similar. You have to click into the book. And then it will again show you the local libraries that have it available for you to borrow. In this example, I'm actually going to click through. And that brought me to the Helena College Library. That one's through Trails, and I could search for it just right here if I had a library card to borrow from Helena College Library. So as mentioned, the statewide contract with OCLC allows an unlimited number of ILLs for your library for an annual fixed fee. Your library has 5 options shaping how and if your libraries are able to request items online and how and if you want to manage ILL online. For all online managed options, your library can choose to borrow materials only, supply materials only, or both borrow and supply ILL items. So I've got the options here listed on the slide. And we have Kara Orban here to answer more questions about these options and talk with you about the latest OCLC group services evaluation.
Hi, everyone. So every year before the state fiscal year, which starts in July, we do an enrollment period for OCLC group services and ask subscribers to confirm that they wish to re-enroll. And we also have an option at that time to change your interlibrary loan status. And a lot of our subscribers are not using interlibrary loan for one reason or another. And so that would be that first option would be basically no ILL. We're not doing ILL at this time. Then the next option would be you can receive ILL requests by email or some other means of communication outside of OCLC to field those requests from your patrons, and then you would go in and manage those ILL transactions directly through OCLC. And ILL management, that's another option where they're not making the request through First Search, but they're requesting the item to library staff, and then you're making that request through First Search. The next option is interlibrary loan requests and mediated management. So this would be an instance where you would have a public-facing First Search page set up, and your patron can submit a request through First Search, and then staff receives it, reviews it, and then approves that request before it gets sent through the system in First Search. And then the last option is it's not described here, but basically it's where the patron can make the request through First Search, and it's not mediated by staff. It just goes through the system, and then the item arrives at your library. So those are the 5 different options. You can change your mind if an option isn't working for you. And as Bobby mentioned, we are doing an evaluation of the group services contract to ask how you're using your contract, what could we be doing better, what do we need to be asking more of from our group services contract. And I just sent out that request to the contact information that I have through OCLC enrollment, but I will also share it here in the chat. So that is a short form. It's 11 questions where we're asking you about your use of OCLC. So if you're using OCLC in your library and you have a few minutes between now and mid-October to fill that out, we would really appreciate your input. Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Kara. And now I'm going to turn it over to Amy Marchwick to talk a little bit about OCLC in relation to the Montana Shared Catalog.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Marchwick. I'm the lead system administrator for the Montana Shared Catalog. And if you are an MSC member, you get all of the things that Bobby and Kara just talked about as you are part of the group services contract. The thing that's a little bit different is how you need to handle adding your holdings information to OCLC. Can we click to the next slide, please? The monthly holdings updates that the shared catalog staff do is we take all of the work that you have done in Symphony, Cersei Dynex, our system, over the month, and we add it in batch to OCLC. So if you have added your item to a bib record in our system, or you've removed an item, additions and withdrawals, we load that all to OCLC for you in a batch. So you do not need to do any manual work to keep your OCLC holdings up to date, to show up in like that world share that you saw, or to get ILL requests. We will do that all for you. I know that's an extra step. Usually if you get the record, you need to go and put your holding on it in OCLC, or if you discard something, you have to go into OCLC and remove your holdings. But if you are a shared catalog member, you don't need to do any of that. We do that through an automated monthly process. So yeah, that is what is different if you're a shared catalog member in terms of using some of those OCLC products.
All right, thank you, Amy. So now I wanted to open it up for any sort of discussion and questions since you've got us here. You can either unmute yourself and speak right in the discussion, or you can post your questions in the chat if you have any.
So any new book that we might get and catalog, you're uploading that every month, kind of keeping it updated as to that our particular library has that book.
If you are a shared catalog member, yes, we do that for you.
Okay.
So
Great.
yeah, if you just, when you go into, collection and item maintenance and you add your record to it, or if you smart port something in, we will send all that information to OCLC for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, well, if you guys think of any other questions, feel free to speak up. We do have a little bit of time that we've built into this in case you did. And in the meantime, I will show you some useful links that you might be interested in checking out if you want to learn more or work on any of your holding updates for you non-MSC libraries. We have that top link there will show you where to go to learn more about enrollment. It'll just talk to you a little bit about what we spoke of at the beginning of this, the overview of our relationship to OCLC and the group consortia, group services. You can also visit the OCLC Community Center, and that's that second link. I'll be pasting all of these in the chat too. If you would like to request a streamlined holding updates project in order to get your holdings all current in OCLC, there is a link to help you do that. And you can also set up automated holding feeds for knowledge-based collections, and that's another one that OCLC can help you with. I've got a link there. And you can visit the Core Services webpage for library groups, and that's that last link. So let me get these in the chat for you. So that is all available if you need it. To those watching this after the fact, watching the recording, I'll also have those links updated in the registration link in Aspen if you would like to go and see it there. And that way you don't have to type all of that in. Speaking of Aspen, remember next month we will be talking about OCLC some more with a deeper dive into the OCLC Connection service as it relates to both the Montana Shared Catalog and non-Montana Shared Catalog libraries. And you can register for that session at mslservices.mt.gov/Aspen. And the last thing I want to make you aware of is the evaluation survey. It would be great if you could take that and just let us know how we're doing. Yeah, and Colette has also put that link in the chat. Thank you, Colette. As I'm not seeing anything really come in, I think I will go ahead and turn off the recording. We'll call this one good for now. And if you would like to hang on and talk after I do that, you absolutely can.